many Palestinians, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, are forced off their land by that conflict. So one starting fact is 5.9 million Palestinians are refugees.
But what we don't realize is that what's happening in the Congo is happening in your backyard as well. 6 million people, over 6 million people are there in the Congo because it's the same conflict, right? In the DRC, we have militia groups, we have laboratories, but why are they fighting? Why people die is to get control of our resources.
Join me, Maryann Okon, as we dive deep into the most pressing issues, uncovering the truth and analyzing the impact on a global scale. From the corridors of power in Washington to the bustling streets of Accra, we've got you covered. We'll take you on a journey through different political systems, exploring the challenges and triumphs of the nations near and far. Hear from world leaders, experts, newsmakers, and everyday citizens as they share their perspective, providing a comprehensive overview of the political landscape. Tune in every Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m. on Hard Facts to be a part of the global conversation on 99.3 Nigeria Info. .3 Nigeria Info. This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios here in Victoria Island, Lagos. Welcome to Global Review. Every Thursday at 4 o'clock, we go beyond the borders of Nigeria to discuss politics and governance outside of Nigeria. Today, we are stopping somewhere between Ethiopia and Eritrea. I think that's where we are today, in case you want to find out. Well, we're going to be talking about the crisis that is somewhat resurrected in the Tigray area. And this is something that started in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. But before I introduce my guest, I'd like to give you some background before we get into the conversations proper. Now, we're turning our attention to Ethiopia's Tigray region, the site of one of the deadliest conflicts in recent African history. The war, which began in November of 2020 between Ethiopian Federal Forces and Tigray People's Liberation Front, triggered a humanitarian catastrophe. I do remember reporting on that sometime in 2020. Now, at its peak, hundreds of thousands are estimated to have died from fighting, famine, and diseases. Millions were displaced. Over 20 million people across northern Ethiopia needed humanitarian aid. Now, health systems collapsed. Most of their hospitals and clinics were destroyed or became non-functional. In 2022, the Pretoria Peace Agreement was signed, meant to end the war. That was the idea. But today, tensions are rising again. Reports of troop movements, drone surveillance, and unresolved territorial disputes, particularly in Western Tigray, are raising fears that the conflict may not be over, but only paused. So the question is Tigray moving towards peace or drifting back to war? Well, to answer that question, joining me is our very good friend and geopolitics analyst, Dr. David Matsanga, who joins us live from the United Kingdom. Dr. Matsanga, it's so good to see you again. It's like you were just here yesterday and now you're back.
Well, thank you very much, listeners, viewers across the continent of Africa. When you work for Africa, you continue working. You never fall out. My client, Gaddafi's son, has been taken down. I investigated the case of Libya. May his soul rest in peace. I'm praying for the family, and I will never give up. I'm here today. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Well, on that very sad note, let's talk about the origins of this peace deal. What triggered that war in 2020? Because, Tigray is part of Ethiopia, isn't it?
Yes.
What triggered that war in 2020? What did the Pretoria Agreement actually resolve? Because, when we spoke about it, there was a peace deal that was signed. What exactly was it to solve? Because right now, it looks like the problem has somewhat returned.
Basically, the question of Tigray and the main Ethiopia goes back to the days of the struggle and to the days of Emperor Haile Selassie, the coining of Ethiopia. You remember, Ethiopia is the only country in Africa which was never colonized. Mm-hmm. They found themselves already organized. They put them, they never touched them. Countries that were already organized, Uganda was organized, it was put under protectorate. Ghana was put under protectorate. Nigeria was amalgamated 100 years later. And it is all from 2014. So Ethiopia was one of the countries that had its own structures. But the inside mechanisms, internal dynamics of the tribes, the Amhara versus the Tigray and the Oromo, which is the biggest tribe in Ethiopia, that friction. And then you have the Somali, we have it is a cosmopolitan country. That's why even the headquarters of African Union sits in Ethiopia, because we looked at the unity of purpose that it had, where the Emperor Haile Selassie had brought all these people under one. Remember, after the Second World War, everything happened in Yugoslavia similar to what happened in Ethiopia. The kingdom was one. We didn't know Eritrea. We didn't know Tigray. We did not know Oromo. We did not know Amhara, but we knew Ethiopia. So these conflicts have been moving in, out. Rivalry. Zenawi and Isaias Afaki, both of them friends of mine. We worked together in the same office in North London, in Islington, where Ethiopian Relief Agency had been given a house with Uganda Community Relief Agency. But they used to quarrel, and their quarrels were, they were on different paths, and I saw this coming. So the causes of this conflict have been both historical, then came with resources. Where were the resources best? Most of the people. Then came the population. Usually these are things that trigger resources, population. A huge population, marginalized. You know the area where you are seated. You know what the problem is. People pump in resources, but they don't look after the people where the resources are coming from. It creates a conflict. Those internal dynamics came to Mengistu Haile Mariam, who became a ruthless leader, threw MD out and became a military, put everybody together. But after the fall of Mengistu Haile Mariam, these differences came, sharp ones, came back. Tigray were very, they work, they had everything, they felt that they are the ones that should control the power in Addis Ababa. And indeed, under Zenawi, they had the control of power. Although they were the smallest tribe in one of the smallest tribes, but they're strong in terms of economic, social, and other financial muscle. So there, it has been a friction between the tribes until it came up lastly with new leaderships, with other people going, moderators going, the people leaving, and Zenawi died. When Zenawi died, this problem came up as a sharp one. After it had resurrected between Isaias Afaki and Eritrea, where they fought a bitter war in a territory that is still manned by the UN between the borders of Ethiopia and Eritrea.
It's a long history there. That, I mean, the stretch through which these problems have. I mean, I think I can say it like the Americans. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
Why are those tensions resurfacing now? Like I said, the peace deal was signed. Was the peace deal faulty, in your opinion, or is it that the parties did not keep to their side of the bargain? What exactly?
A combination of factors, both a cocktail of disaster in one of the negotiations. I'm one of the few people who voiced and stood up openly. One of the people I like on this continent is Abiy Ahmed. I like him. You know, madam, he has done very well for Ethiopia. If you go in Addis Ababa, you can see the smell of some money borrowed from outside, and it is developing. It's a city you can sit and relax. He's done very well. The younger man has done very excellent. But the structure of the peace talks, peace talks must have 5 components. 1, truth-telling. If you don't tell the truth, whatever agreement you want to sign will not hold. 2, reconciliation. From truth-telling, you start to reconcile. And when you reconcile, you move to one of the biggest issues, which should be number 1, ceasefire. Then you come to truth-telling. Then you come to reconciliation. Then you come to another serious obstacle, which if is not there, the peace will collapse. A war will begin again. That is accountability. Accountability. You know how many people died in this war?
Millions of people
perished.
Millions.
Thousands were displaced. Millions of thousands. Human rights were abused. We didn't put a strong clause of reconciliation, truth-telling. We got a ceasefire. We did not go for accountability. When it came to accountability, this is where the problems, that's why you see these problems coming now. Because one area of what we call in the world a redemption strategy. I think let's teach people this. A redemption strategy. You need that package to lead to a healing process. You must have a healing process. People did not heal. They did not heal. It was a temporary healing, a pause, as you have rightly put in your bulletin, a pause in your analysis, a pause. It paused. So internal wrangling, ego, leadership wrangling within the Tigray formation, remove of those whom they suspected were working with the Ethiopian government, now brought this conflict back on the table, because the formation of the entire peace process, one element lacked, the element of permanent reconciliation, like South Africa, Truth and the Justice Commission. They say Colombia, the FARC rebels, Northern Ireland, the IRA, Northern Uganda, the Lord Resistance Army. Look at the man. I am the one who solved that conflict. I'm proud here. I solved it. We reconciled. People went back home in hundreds of thousands. They assimilated. They are working in the Ugandan army. They are working in institutions. They went back to school. I'm happy. So the total reconciliation lacked. It left some footprints of maneuver by external forces, especially agencies that don't like Africa to stand. Plus, the neighbor on the east. That neighbor is Eritrea. That has got long-standing grudge to finish with Ethiopia generally and with Tigray. Remember, Eritrean troops were called in to kill even more Tigray. We have not accounted for that. We have not taken Isaias Afaki for the destruction, for the killing that took place. We left. Now Isaias Afaki has turned himself on Ethiopia. He doesn't like the Ethiopians. He doesn't like Ahmed. The biggest mistake that Ahmed made was to shake hands with Isaias Afaki when he had not renounced and accepted reconciliation with Tigray. That's where we are. I think I've brought the subject to where.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And now that the tensions have, of course, been resurrected, and you've talked about the fact that there is no trust, everyone's suspicious. Obviously, this has led to another set of, what is the role of the Ethiopian government in being the peacemaker here? I mean, a lot of responsibility lies on the shoulder of the Ethiopian government, whether they like it or not. And high-handedness might not be the way forward. So what do you think, should be the way forward? Because there's a severe humanitarian problem. What happened in 2020, some people are yet to recover from it. The displacements, a lot of people still haven't been able to go back to their homes. Some people are still trapped in limbo. before we talk about accountability from the Tigrayan side, let's talk about accountability on the side of the Ethiopian government.
Let me be very frank. Any peace agreement in the world done without accountability is zero. Take it from me. If I'm wrong, I can tear one of my certificates and put them on fire. If you don't do accountability in any peace process on planet Earth, it will resurrect. Because there are people who don't know where their parents are. What happened? If you have done the root cause of the war, you have done what we call reparation. How you must reparate. That's another tenet. Reparate. You must reparate. You must restitution. You must bring back life. That's why it's called a redemption strategy. Any political, any lecturer, any person like me teaching this subject and practicing it, you must restitute people from where they were, bring them back to hope. This one we seem to have not restituted. We seem to have made political statements that were not fulfilled. 2, we seem to have gone to undermine other people who were very, very, very annoyed with the peace. You know, in a war, there are people who want the war. They benefit. They get money. They get dollars. They harass. They go here and they say they are given dollars. We have. And I'm telling you frankly, these merchants of war, of conflicts, are many in Africa. They come and they say, we shall give you arms, give us oil, give us diamond.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star double cubes. Made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie double cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Hello, guy. I beg if you want me urgent 2K.
Asa, why you go dey dull like this when Premier Cool they give 10,000 people 10K back to back?
You mean
I go lie for you. Everything they start with Cool. Just buy the 110-gram Premier Cool Ultimate or black soap. Unwrap am. Enter the code for Pampi. Bam, 10K straight.
Say less. I dey go buy my own.
Don't dull yourself. 10,000 people go win 10,000 naira. Just buy, unwrap, enter your code and win instanta.
Freshness where they pay you back. Everything they start with Cool.
You don't ready to win? Make you enjoy your food with one ice cold Coca-Cola. And you fit win your share from 600 million naira. Now 2 millionaires they make every day. Plus over 50 million naira for weekly prizes. Just buy any Coke when get glass or plastic bottle. Scan the QR code for the cover of the glass bottle or for the label of the plastic one. Then check the code when they under the cover for your chance to become millionaire and win better prizes. Buy, scan, find, win. T's and C's apply.
Hey, yeah, now Rabbi, with your Rabbi, but it's strong, my mouth is fresh, it clean well, oh, now R.I.P. Strong teeth R.I.P. Fresh bread R.I.P. 24/7 with R.I.P. Strong teeth R.I.P.
Yes, so get your own R.I.P. 130 grams pack now for 1,500 naira. Now Nigerian Dental Association self deal with R.I.P.
Free Millions 1 billion naira jackpot up for grabs every single week. There are lots of other amazing prizes. Raffle draw is every Saturday by 8 p.m. on Wazobia TV. So hurry and get them soon. Visit AfriMillions.ng to play now. Create your account and pick your 6 lucky numbers from 1 to 49. Each ticket costs just 1,000 naira. Afri Millions, we win together. Players must be 18 plus. Licensed by the Lagos State Lottery and Gaming Authority. Terms and conditions apply. Win from over 80 million naira in cash and exciting prizes in the Golden Hunt promo.
This promo, there's no need for advert anymore.
Because
my mom alone can hunt down any gist. How much more 80 million naira in prizes with the whole family involved?
Naija, let the Golden Hunt begin. Just buy any Golden Morn Golden Hunt 30 gram or 45 gram promo pack. Look inside for a unique code and dial *8011*1# for a chance to win big. Promo ends April 15, 2026. Golden Morn. Make every day golden.
Lagos, this is for you and your family. If you're buying for your home, your kitchen, chairs, tables, storage, toys for the children, and the small things that make everyday life easier, there is one place you should experience. Orca. Orca is for all Nigerians. Whatever your budget, you'll find Orca at Eco Atlantic, Victoria Island. Welcoming, easy to access, and worth the visit. Listen to this. Enjoy 20% off on all products at Orca. Yes, 20% off everything. From now till February 28, 2026. Come and see it yourself. Bring your family. It's more than shopping. It's a moment everyone will enjoy. Visit Orca today. Buy what you need. Enjoy the experience. Orca, everything your family needs in one place.
Guy, I beg if you run me urgent 2K. As how now? When Premier could give 10,000 people 10K back to back, they ask for 2K. For real? I go lie for you. It all begins with Cool. Just buy the 110 grams Premier Cool Ultimate or Black Soap. Unwrap them, enter the code for PAMPay. Boom! Instant 10K.
Say less. I did go buy my own. Don't miss out. 10,000 people to win 10,000 naira each. Just buy, unwrap, enter your code, and win instantly.
Freshness that pays you back. It all begins with Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise with a shutdown with a new flavor from Five Alive. Five Alive Mango with a sweet pass for corner. Oh yeah, make we loud down. Five Alive Mango don't land. New refreshing Five Alive Mango flavor. Grab it, taste it, loud it.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star double cubes. Made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie double cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Everybody confirm I'm the correct remedy for headache. Medic 55 now.
My name na Odunlade Adekola and I be better hustler. From morning till night, na back to back. Work, traffic, noise. Sometimes it be like say your head go bust. Once that headache show, I go straight for Medic 55. With Medic 55, I dey medic my headache. For headache,
use Medic 55.
If your body no tranga after 3 days, go see your doctor.
Are you ready to unlock the secrets to successful exporting? Introducing Export Products Atlas, your ultimate guide to successfully export 20 key agro-commodities. This essential resource is meticulously crafted for both new and experienced exporters. Dive into 20 informative chapters, each enriched with charts and vibrant images that illustrate 10 crucial aspects of a commodity every exporter must know. Explore the uses, specifications, potential demand, marketing strategies, costing and pricing, documentation requirements, and common pitfalls to avoid when exporting each commodity. With Export Products Atlas, you will gain practical insights and expert knowledge that will empower you to navigate the complexities of international trade confidently.
Order is currently ongoing for the price of $40,000.
Don't miss the chance to expand the scope of your export business.
Call or chat us on 0909-123-45673 to grab your copy today and embark on a journey to global success.
Your future in the export market starts here.
You want to hear all about it? Welcome to the Talk Station. It's more conversation and more conversation.
And then weeks later, there was a U-turn. Well, there was a coup.
Military arrest 65-year-old woman supplying drugs to Boko Haram.
That means they know where they are. Why don't the army go there and destroy the whole of that place?
Why is this only concerned about politics, bringing everybody into the APC?
Nothing did not take place. People are still in the custody of their abductors. Another one has taken place.
As Yusuf dumps opposition for APC. In fact, everybody in Kano has dumped the NNPP.
So Kwankwaso are coming out now to say, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that he does know, right?
I don't know what these guys will use to campaign again come 2027.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Hard Facts.
And yes, we are docked at the Tigrayan border in Ethiopia as we're looking at the Tigray crisis. A crisis that started in 2020. 6 years later, it has raised its ugly head yet again. And live from London, joining us is Dr. David Matsanga, who is a geopolitics analyst who knows a lot about the Tigray issue. Of course, he's one who had raised an issue with the peace deal and some of the issues that he thought should have been addressed. Well, before we went on that break, Dr. Matsanga, we were talking about the fact that responsibility has to be taken on all sides. I remember also in 2020, I spoke to a lot of people from both the Tigrayan side and the Ethiopian government side of the divide when I was reporting on that issue in 2020. And many fingers were pointed at both sides on account of war crimes. Has that been addressed? Because that might also play a role in what's happening right now, isn't it?
I have given you the 6 pillars of what we call to resolve a conflict. If there isn't the major one, if it lacks, there is no conflict. It will come. There is no finishing of a conflict. Accountability. But above all, on top of accountability, there is this question of infrastructure. It was destroyed. The delay and even deployment. People did not implement things as it was agreed. There were delays, internal wrangles. As I've told you in the beginning, from the bottom of my heart, I can tell you internal wrangles, political infighting, ego, lack of facilities, return of displaced. People don't know where their parents are. Accountability must come. My father is dead. Tell me where the grave is. Tell me I might not find him. I heal. I move on. This is why conflicts in Africa don't go away. The conflict of Sudan, for example, so many, 348,000 people were murdered. But nobody has ever done accountability. You South Sudan, see, every minute, every year there is a new one and a new one. It will not work. So for me, the point I am saying here, the Ethiopian Prime Minister should take lead, and the African Union General Obasanjo, my good friend, is beginning to see my views. After several years, we never agreed on a number of things. But now General Obasanjo looks like, I think he's reading my notes. He's talking like a real African, not to allow people from outside to come and do conflict for us. Let them come and help us to give money for reintegration and replace displaced people, humanitarian, but not to do the real conflict, because we Africans understand our continent better. We don't need to employ somebody from somewhere in Europe to come and resolve our problems. So let the mediators plus the African Union, which is waking up now to see that there are people killed in Kwara State in your place. They admit it now. The other time it said, no, there was no killing there. So people have got to be put on the footing. Therefore, some of the things, accountability lacked on both sides. And now, nobody has come out to say openly, I murdered people and forgive me. Like a Kachacha court in Rwanda, where people came and said, I killed your family, but allow me to stay with you. Let's build a good Ethiopia. People have not done so. So until that is done, that element, it will keep on cropping according to the egos of the leaders that come in power in Tigray.
Okay, let's talk about Eritrea's role in this. How significant is Eritrea's role in this, in both the war and the current tensions? And if fighting does resume, if being the operating word here, could this expand into a regional conflict if not handled properly?
Yes, the answer is yes. You see, the point that you have a hanging war, which UN has never resolved. Do you know that there is a place in Africa where UN peacekeepers are separating two countries? That is Eritrea. I'm telling you, some Africans, when they go for interview, they fail. There are two places. It is Eritrea and Ethiopia. There are troops there, a no man's zone, where they left to go, okay, they fought and said, let's stop there and wait. Now, Ethiopia, Eritrea was cleaned. We cleansed it. We cleaned it. It came back to international community. Now it has gone back to its shelf, dealing with the Gulf states across. You know that. There is the Houthi, there is Al-Shabaab. The biggest mistake that the people in Africa don't say, leaders and the people don't say this proof, is to tell people like Isaias Afaki, stop sponsoring terrorism. Yes, and this has got to be said. If we don't say it, who else is going to say? Are you waiting to go and die on the grave? Then they say, oh, Dr. Matsanga was very good, was a great man. No. Tell me, the man was speaking the truth. Eritrea sponsors some of the terrorism that we suffer in Africa. It does. And I have evidence. I know what has happened. I worked with Isaias.
But there are those who would those who would tell you that actually it is Ethiopia that sits that doesn't look like a culprit, but is a culprit in sponsoring some of these tensions.
Where? Ethiopia has never gone to sponsor any conflict anywhere. Eritrea has gone into Ethiopia. When this conflict of Tigray happened, what did Eritrea go? It came to kill Tigray people. Yes, they speak the truth. And then you tell me Ethiopia is the one sponsoring. Ethiopian government is not sponsoring anybody. Ethiopia only simply asked, can we have a port, rebuild a port in Somaliland? If you don't want to give them, leave it. First of all, what are you going to keep the land for? Okay. For millions and millions of years. This land, there is no railway, there is no food, nobody has ever stepped there. Someone wants to develop it for you. And then you come and say, it's my territory. Which territory? My food. Let's start building infrastructure as Africans so that we can trade. All what Ethiopia did, why it is being hated by some people, is to say, I want to do something with Somaliland. What Somalia would have done is to sit down and say, brother, you go there, you know it's our territory. But you build the railway. After all, this railway...
But the Ethiopian government cannot also feign ignorance that they don't know that there's been an ongoing situation between Somaliland and Somalia. They cannot feign that ignorance, can they?
They know, but
exactly. And the moment you recognize one party, the other party is all obviously going to be up in arms.
It comes back to the African Union. Why don't we pick out that report? The African Union sent a delegation to find about Somaliland. Why are we hiding it under the carpet in our bedrooms, in the hotels in Addis Ababa? Bring it out! Come on! Let's be honest. This is why I am totally opposed. And I'm going to ask by Monday, interview me again. I am asking for the change of African Union chairpersonship to Secretary General. We want to go back to the Secretary General position. We are fed up with chair, wearing a suit, moving around while people are dying in African continent. Let's change African Union position to Secretary General of African Union.
Dr. Matsanga, Dr. Matsanga, I want to take you on this. I'm sorry, I'm one of the people who thinks that African Union is dead. And you cannot give what you don't have. The people who make up the African Union are the people who sit as governors, as presidents, as prime ministers in these same countries stoking tension. So I'm trying to understand who's going to be first to call out the other when they all seem to have their, they seem to all be part of the same playbook or playing, I don't know.
Let me tell you, my sister, the millions and the millions who are listening across the world. The African Union is dead, is walking dead, is in intensive care unit. We are about to remove the tube. Then it goes. Do you know why? It is captured. It is captured by foreign forces that I don't want to mention here. But let me now come back. Why is it captured? Why does it look like it's not functioning? We have elected a man who becomes a president, who calls himself the president of Africa. Instead of being a clerical officer, he is the clerical office of African Union. That guy from Djibouti should be renamed Secretary General of the African Union, not chairperson. Come on.
What exactly does the nomenclature do? I mean, it's like a window dressing. Does it change the mindset and the attitude of the African Union?
Ma'am, the AU was formed when I was grown up. At least it found me grown up, running in the streets of the mountains of Elgon in Uganda. I was grown up. I paid school fees for the formation of AU. So even that guy in Addis Ababa is small, young. And we better tell them the truth now. If the first Secretary Generals of African Union, Dr. Mohammed Ahmed Salim Ahmed Salim of Tanzania, you grew up hearing that name. You can run to the radio and listen to how the man defends Africa. This one is a yo-yo. He doesn't defend Africa. He just is there clapping. Qatar, thank you very much for solving a problem. Washington, they go to eat. Matsanga doesn't want to go to Washington to eat food. I tell Trump, what will he do? If he doesn't want me to come to America, do I need an American passport? For what?
Okay. All right.
Yes, why? So we need to change African Union Secretary General chairperson position to become Secretary General of the African Union. It will be more effective a secretariat than a man who fights for photographs with Tinubu, with Museveni, with who fighting for photographs. I want to stand here to be seen. That's why wars are coming.
Okay. Before we go, I would like to know, because there's several regions still in Ethiopia that are watching what's happening in Tigray and might also say, okay, well, let's see how this goes. We might start ours. But I want to open up the phone lines. I've seen people calling over and over. I guess that they want to either beg to differ or they support your motion. But anyway, we're talking Tigray and the crisis in that region, the position of the Ethiopian government and the position of the leadership of the Tigrayan Front. I think the Tigray leadership, I know it's a movement. Anyway.
TPLF.
TPA, yes, TPA, yes.
TPLF.
That's the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front. Yes, I remember that. All right, 0201-277-0993 if you are male. For the female, 0201-465-7190. Join the conversation on our social media. We're live on YouTube and we're also live on Facebook. Just keep it short and straight to the point. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me appreciate you. You've done very good. I love all you have said, especially with the response you gave to him about nomenclature. Let me add to that. African Union is dead. Even by extension, United Nations is as well dead. It's not about changing the name. It's about the spirit of Africanism. Pan-Africanism is the individual leader that make up the African Union. First of all, the Ethiopian embassy of the African Union, it was built by China. So he said he doesn't want to mention the Western forces. Is it not China? Are we not talking Russia here? Those days when you have Africans that will stand. For instance, what happened in the 1976 Olympics in Ontario, Canada, when the Patriots can talk, Julius Nyerere can talk, and they can disrupt the whole of the Olympic process. Those days have gone. The reality is that majority of African leaders are all sold out. The only serious country on African continent today that is still having partially Pan-Africanism is South Africa, and kudos to South Africa. My question on Ethiopia to him now: what does he have to say about the collaboration of Abiy Ahmed, the Ethiopian Prime Minister, with Eritrea when they were bombarding the people of the Tigray people in 2001, 2002? What happened about that? What actually happened between them that they fell out with each other? Now they are not talking about Eritrea committing crime against the Tigray people. What was Ethiopian leadership doing to that when they were committing those crimes? Were they not in collaboration?
Okay.
And finally,
all right. No. Your time is up. We need to take other calls. Sorry.
Okay,
just one question is enough. Dr. Matsanga, would you like to respond to his question?
I don't know whether you will hearing me.
Yeah, I can hear you, even though you're paused. Your video is paused, but go ahead.
Yes, are you hearing me now?
I can hear you. I think you have a connection issue because you're going on and off.
Yes, here I am. You hear me? You see me now?
Yes.
Let me be very frank that raising is correct. Is correct. Very good.
Okay, Dr. Matsanga, we're having a problem. I think that there is there's an interference which is not allowing us to hear you, and you keep going on and off, and your video is paused. So I don't know if we can sort that out, but it's difficult for us to hear you because there's an interference.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I guess I think it's a connection problem. Oh, here we go again. It's happening. It's happening again. Is it possible for you to leave the meeting and join it again quickly, Dr. Matsanga? Because this is a connection problem, I guess, and it's affecting your audio and the visuals. While we wait for you to return, let's take a few more calls. Hello, welcome to Global Review. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good evening or good afternoon. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. Am I on to Miriam?
Go ahead, please. We have just 60 seconds.
Okay. This Barrister Peter Oko. I'm calling from Mende, Maryland. Yes. On the issue of the problem in Ethiopia, you see, the truth about this whole issue is that the OAU and other regional bodies like ECOWAS, they have outlived their usefulness. You know, they have completely outlived their usefulness and should be abolished and reshaped. In Nigeria, for instance, the government we have, the APC government we have, is not useful to Nigerians. It's a government that lacks accountability, you know, whereby the APC central government is deceiving Nigerians.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Dr. Barrister. Because of time, 60 seconds. Make up your mind what you want to say and hit the points right on the nail. Dr. Matsanga, you're back. Can you respond to the first person's question?
Yes. I don't know whether my video has been
It's interrupted again, but just talk. I think we'd rather hear you because of time. Let's go.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
First of all, let me be very candid that I agree with the caller. The caller said African Union is dead. It doesn't resolve. It is a place of patronage. Patronage for the people. They know each other. They don't blame each other. That's why I'm calling for a reform to change from African Union chairperson to African Secretary General, like Guterres and others. Two, on the question of Eritrea, Eritrea has had, if we listen to what my beginning, at the beginning, what I said about the conflict, I told people frankly that the conflict is ever going. It started when historical. It started in London. and it has been going on in London even before we talked with the Zenawi and others went on. It is historical. Therefore, Eritrea did not like anybody in Tigray. They came in, they killed very many people, and accountability has been lacking.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Doctor, because of the connection issues and time, we want to say thank you so much for joining us on the conversation. Keep up the good work. We like all your analysis and, all the things that you know about Africa. Well, we hope that your voice can be heard in the larger scheme of things. Dr. David Matsanga joined us live from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Although we have been messed up by
the connections. I'm so sorry. Well, we have to go. Lagos, when we come back on the other side, we're going to be talking about that issue with the Senate. The Senate is saying, some of them are saying that what we passed behind closed doors is that there's electronic transfer. The Senate president is saying, we're reverting to 2022. What do we as Nigerians believe? We'll talk about all of that after the break. Stay with us.
Lagos, welcome to Afri Millions, the home of Africa's biggest jackpot. Here, there's a massive 1 billion naira guaranteed.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.